the new A24 horror film, Talk to Me. So it is an Australian, I believe, horror movie, basically about a bunch of young people who, they have this ceramic hand that when you touch it and say the words "talk to me," you're able to commune with the dead or commune with entities from the other side. They realize that I think you can only, have the entity within you for no more than 90 seconds, or the entity will want to stay and kind of
Okay.
possess you. So they end up kind of using this as a fun party game, parlor trick situation. They film each other, they drink, they, have a good time with it, and then make sure that, you get the entity out of you before the 90 seconds. So there's always somebody like timing it. So we meet our lead character, Mia, who she's lost her mother, presumably to suicide, but her father has never really been honest with her about what really happened. So I believe she's coming up on, I think, the 1 year or the 2 year anniversary of her mother's death. So she's
Okay.
very kind of, so she, when she's approached with this game, she's very much eager to kind of
Mm,
mess around with it, I think, because she has
yeah.
this weird feeling of death based on, her mom. So she gets kind of
Do
into
it.
it. And, one night when they're all kind of playing with this whole game of this, communing with the dead, um, they end up taking it a little too far. Demons kind of end up, sticking around where they're not supposed to stick
Nice.
around. And so
Yes,
it
I like
becomes this
this.
whole mission to get rid of them and get things back to normal. So yeah, I think the pacing is really fast. Like we get into it really quickly. Um, I think the visuals are really cool, really scary. There is some kind of self-harm depictions that are
Okay.
really difficult to watch, like somebody bashing in their head, like on hard surfaces, which was just very much like, kind of, um,
What,
very
like,
visceral.
thanks to the demon or of their own
Yes,
accord?
thanks to someone being possessed and it's
Okay.
making them, like, harm themselves. Um, but yeah, really creepy visuals. I think it's a really well-paced story. I think we get enough time to kind of understand our characters, but they do set up a few kind of character dynamics that they don't really flesh out, so it's like,
Okay.
why set this up if you're not really gonna it's gonna factor in any kind of big meaningful way. um but it's really fast paced. We get to kind of the horror action pretty quickly. It's really scary and intense, and it builds really well, I think. So I actually really enjoyed it. I think if you are somebody who likes supernatural horror, because I'm not even someone who really likes possession supernatural horror, but I actually got really into it and really wanted to see where it was going to go and seeing if our characters could get out of this situation with these demons and all of this. So yeah, I found
Well,
myself really getting into it. I just wish they would have, maybe taken the time to flesh out the story, the, character storylines that they had set up a little bit better. But overall, I think, I liked how quick paced it was that we got into things pretty quickly throughout the story. So
does it fit into that A24 style of kind of small scale weirdness that
yes,
we are
so
used to?
yes, so it definitely feels very small scale, very kind of quiet and comfortable, in terms of not some kind of big overblown thing that's trying to do too much or forced jump scares just for the sake of it. I think it's definitely trying to tell an interesting story and lean into kind of this being able to commune with the dead. Um, you know, that's kind of what causes a lot of the problems, um, with our main character, is kind of her desire to really communicate with her mother, and,
Yeah.
that's kind of what kicks off a lot of the issues that we have in this movie. So yeah, I like the pacing of it was really well done. It just feels very small and intimate and creepy, and, yeah, so I thought it was a solid supernatural horror flick.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been interested in seeing this. I just haven't been able to yet at
Yeah, I
this
do
point.
believe
But
it has a wide release on July 28th, so
yes, it's not too far away at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
So I certainly will be seeing Talk to Me. Good. Glad to
yeah.
know that it's a really solid horror movie, because a really solid horror movie is always welcome in my
Yeah.
world, Jeannine.
Yes.
It really is. Well, there we go. Let's